Hi guys, it's Enny, aka the Noctrader, your friendly neighborhood swing trader, back again with another video. Today is Wednesday the 5th of June 2019. I'm going to give you a technical analysis breakdown of some UK and US stocks. Let's get straight into it. Remember to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that alert button to get alerts on all my latest videos. I've got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the Noctrader on all social media platforms. And if you check the description section below, you'll see a link to my mailing list. If you join my mailing list, you get priority access to my free training course that I'm creating for new traders. And you also get weekly emails of my entries, my exits, my stop losses, and some of my trades that I make, and just the latest videos that I have on my page. Now, let's get straight into it. Okay, so we've got 6 stocks today that I'm going to cover. All US stocks, no UK ones today. I'm going to start with GUSH and DRIP. You know, in my last video, I said that I was going to hold GUSH overnight in a long position. And it didn't go well. It did not go well. I lost 30 quid. The only reason I lost 30 quid is because I had a tight stop loss. But yeah, I lost 30 quid on that. And what happened is that because it went the opposite way to what I thought it was going to do. Actually, let me show you. So I put some lines on this. So basically, my thought process was that price had gone above this line, and I thought that it was going to start making higher highs because the 180-day simple moving average on the 15-day chart was coming under the price, but it actually sold off. And the minute it started doing that, I exited my position straight away. I didn't want to make any losses, so I exited my position, closed out, lost 30 quid, that's alright. And then I went to DRIP. And we all know DRIP is the inverse of GUSH. And what I found, funny enough, was that I'd plotted the lines all wrong in GUSH, and really what was happening on DRIP was it was making a broadening wedge pattern. If you know about broadening wedge patterns, I made a video up about it and how to trade it, and this is exactly how I traded it. So the minute it started climbing here, I got into the position, and I just went long, and I'm still holding my position now. And my thought process is that broadening wedge patterns, it kind of ricochets from the peak to from the bottom to top. It's been going for up, down, and now I think it's going to break out of here and then go into this box area. So I think I'm going to hold this overnight, hoping that it breaks out. It's already, this line is a previous resistance from way back, but I think it will break this line and then hit this box over the next day or two, just based on the fact that it's a broadening wedge. And once it goes here, whatever happens can happen. But this is what I'm targeting. So I'm long on this, and I should make a decent profit the minute if it gets to this line. But I've got my stop loss quite tight. My stop loss is around here, and what I'm doing is that I've raised it up to here actually, because this is where it's made a new like bed. And the minute it breaks out of here, it will obviously ebb and flow. But I think it's going to go to this box area, which is about 1783. So, but watch that broadening wedge video to explain how to trade it. I'm not going to go through that now. Next one is AMD. It's not even on my watch list. I need to add it to my watch list. I think I took it off. Add to my watch list. Okay, AMD. I covered this in, I think, last week. I think I covered it last week, yeah. So, it looks like a bit of a mess on the 4-hour chart, but if you go down to the 2-hour chart, you can see that it's made a expanding wedge pattern again. And when I covered it last, it was around here, and I thought it might drop down to this line, but it didn't do that. And what it's actually done is kind of treated the 180-day simple moving average as a support on the 2-hour chart, and then climbed up. So what this tells me is that if you know about the expanding wedge, once again, watch that video that I created on it to explain how to trade it. The next move would be whenever it goes up and down and ebbs and flows to the support and resistance. The minute it goes to the center and then goes back up, or goes to the center and goes back down and doesn't go, that means that it's going to break out of the upside. So that means this is going to go up. This is going to break out and go up. So now would be a great time to take a long position. This is going to go up. If you zoom out to the 4-hour chart, maybe that's not really telling you much. Let's go to the daily chart. Yeah, so it's kind of, the daily chart gives you a bit more information. So the daily chart is, what it's telling me is that price it's moving very erratically, but it's moving to the upside, and it looks like it's about to test the all-time high. So I can see AMD climbing up to its previous all-time high. Fingers crossed that there's no news from Trump or China that sends the market awry again. But as it stands, based on the technicals, it looks like it's going to keep climbing. The MACD, it's very steep and it's curving up. That's what I like to see on the daily. And then the RSI is curving up. And once again, if you go to the 2-hour chart, you can see that it's an expanding wedge that has made its way to the middle and then gone up. And when it does that, you know it's going to break out to the upside. So now this would be a great long position to take. Next one is DO, also known as Diamond Offshore Drilling. Let me go down here. This one is a prime short. Look at this. This is great. This looks like a great short. So it was making a little bit of a channel pattern. It broke out to the downside, broke out the support line, retested the support line as a resistance, and now it's going to make some more lows. I think it's going to make lower lows, and the 180 simple moving average is curving down. So everything is telling me sell right now. If you go into the weekly chart, if you expand out to the weekly chart as well, also looks kind of like a sell. Back to the daily. Let me look at the other indicators. Yeah, MACD and RSI both looking like sells to me. What would be interesting actually, I'll see if Fibonacci will give us a little bit more insight into where it could go. So based off of this, I would say maybe this area would be where you'd want to test. We're going into uncharted territory, so it's really hard to find where an exit point would be. But from what I'm seeing right now, I'd say that 627 would be the place to exit if you were taking a short position. This is about 182 pips you can make profit, and you're risking about 70-60. So that's 3 to 1 ratio, which is pretty good. And yeah, so I'd say this is a short right now, and I'd use Fibonacci retracement to dictate where the next level of support would be, because right now you're in uncharted territories, and there's no real supports and resistances to plot to really tell you anything as to where it might find a new support. Let me check on the weekly chart. No, see, maybe here, potentially. I don't know. This is the last time but that's quite far away. See, no, I'll just delete that. Yeah, nothing's really telling us where the next support could be, because this is the lowest it's been in years. Back to as far as 2006, it hasn't been this low, so we don't really know where the support is. So I'd use Fibonacci retracement as a way to find a new support. Next one, JetBlue. 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 So on the daily chart, it looks like it's on the weekly chart. It looks like it's been curving up. You can see that even though it's an ebbing and flowing, it's been making high highs. It's kind of made a little bowl shape, and it's curving up. On the daily chart, exactly what I said would happen a while back. I just didn't have the nerve to really execute it the way I wanted it to, but it's exactly how I expected it to go. It went. It broke out, tested the previous descending channel pattern resistance as a support, and now it's making high highs. I expect it to carry on climbing. I'm kind of upset about this move because I entered this and exited about twice. I think you guys can follow it if you've seen some of my previous support and resistance, previous technical analysis reports. But I just timed it wrong. My analysis was right. I timed it wrong, and that just happens. I said way back. I can't remember the video. I might find it. I'll find it for you. I might put it up if I can find it. I said, I think it was even in my May pick of the month. I actually said this is gonna return back to the resistance line as a support, and then it's gonna make highs. It's gonna climb, and I was right, but I just didn't time it right. So there's no point being right if you don't get your timing right, because I kept entering at different places, and when it didn't do what I wanted it to do, I kind of exited again. But it's kind of shot up now. But I do think it's gonna carry on going up. I don't think this is the end of the race. Once again, I'm going to try and use some Fibonacci to give me some insight into where it could go next. Doesn't always work, but it can give you a little bit of a idea. I'm just guessing. I'll leave it at that. Ooh, but I still think it's gonna keep climbing. This is just the beginning. It's gonna make high highs. I'd be weird, yeah. And even look even on the daily MACD and RSI. Look at that. This is exactly what you want to see out on the MACD and RSI when you're trying to take a long position. JetBlue is just about to curve into positive territory. The RSI is also curving upwards. So yeah, this is a good long position. Next one is TSCO. I covered this yesterday. Not TSCO, the UK consumer brand, but the American tractor supply, making high highs. What am I doing? Making high highs. So this wasn't a false breakout. What I was worried about yesterday was that I thought it might be like one of these where it broke out and then it returned back. But this time it looks like it's a genuine breakout and it's going to climb. It may not. What I want to see it do is climb all the way back to this resistance line. That'll be great. Once again, MACD, RSI all climbing in negative territory before, but then move to positive, and they're climbing now. This could just be a good long position to take. And last but not least, Tesla. Fan favorite Tesla. This one I'll just cover him because it's an interesting stock, but I do not think this is one to necessarily trade. Or it could be a trade. If the place you would want to trade it was when it was hitting that support line. This is the great like zero sum game kind of thing where you could go long here and set a type stop loss, and if you're right, then you could climb. Now, where it's at now, I'd expect it to retrace a little bit before making high highs. What you'd want to do is, if you want to go long on Tesla, yeah, see on the 4-hour chart, this is exactly what you want to see. You want to see it climb on the 4-hour chart above the 15-day exponential moving average, consolidate above it, and if it breaks below it, that means it's a false breakout. If it stays above it and treats it as a support, then you can enter it and go long on it, and then just keep a stop loss just below where the 15-day exponential moving average is, and then you can just ride it up. Just maybe make the stop loss a trailing stop loss so it can kind of climbs with it, but you don't want it too tight because this Tesla ebbs and flows quite a lot, so you don't want it to kind of retrace and then knock you out of your stop loss. So yeah, you just have to be careful where you place your stop loss. But I do think it might have bottomed out. I don't know, to be honest, with Tesla, because once again, this is heavily influenced by fundamentals, and we all know that the bears are really the short sellers are that are really powerful, that are making a concerted effort to keep Tesla down. So that's the only reason why I'm a bit wary of not taking a long position on Tesla, because yeah, there's big major players in the game that really want Tesla to tank. But I'll make another video about that anyway. I think I've covered all of the stocks. I think I've done it pretty quickly, to be honest. Yeah, that's me, Any, aka the Noctrader, signing out.